For those people who are international investors into the UK property market, it's worth looking at what's been going on with currency over the last couple of weeks. Now, we've been in a situation where prior to the big escalation of coronavirus or COVID-19 cases in the UK, we'd actually seen the pound was appreciating against a number of world currencies. And that was off the back of effectively some certainty over Brexit, and also some of the countries around the world having a bigger issue with coronavirus or COVID-19 than the UK did to begin with. And so the pound being seen a bit like the US dollar is, the euro is, the Swiss dollar is, as a safe haven currency against some of the volatility in financial markets. Well, with cases escalating in the UK, we've seen the pound drop fairly significantly against a number of major world currencies, although it's still appreciating against some of the less strong currencies around the world as well. This is a difficult time. It's very volatile in the currency markets right now, very much the same way that it's very volatile in the stock markets at this stage as well. Now, generally, there's a lot of downward pressure because there's a lot of uncertainty. But that's not the direction of travel against all currencies. So at this stage, if you are an overseas investor, if you've got business interests in multiple jurisdictions, the first thing to do is consider whether you need to move any money at this stage. While it's very volatile, while it's up and down, don't try and time the market and try and get some advantage in this situation, because the honest truth is people don't know exactly what's happening with this. There's uncertainty all over the place and no one can really predict whether things are going up, down or sideways at the moment. So you'd actually be smarter if you don't need to do a currency conversion, don't do one in this particular market. If you do need to do a currency conversion, have a good conversation with your currency broker about when, how much, and consider using a couple of different strategies to smooth out as much volatility as possible. You may want to look at forwards or market orders so that you're locking in some currency at a certain rate and then move some of your currency at spot trades if the rate goes in your favor. The other thing, while we're seeing quite a bit of volatility as well, is if you have booked a trade on currency and the rate's gone against you, you can also book a counter trade to kind of compensate for that as well. That's another strategy that some currency brokers are offering to deal with the volatility in the marketplace as well. But do have a look at this right now. Consider whether you do need to move money immediately. Of course, if you're one of the currencies which is appreciating against the pound, now might be a good idea to get your money into pounds because the pound is going through a slight softening again while the coronavirus is hitting the UK right now. If you do have profits to take home from the UK, if the pound is softening against your home currency, maybe just delay that a little bit. What the government is saying at the moment is they're trying to push all of these measures into containing the outbreak over the next 12 weeks. And if that's successful, it's likely that there will be a bit of confidence return to the UK economy and to the pound overall. But ultimately, it's just a bit of a case of wait and see. Just be careful with any movements at the moment. And like I say, don't engage in any speculation. Make your movements if you need to make your movements, if there's a valid business reason to do it. Unfortunately, at times like this, no one can tell you exactly where the market's going. So now is not the time for any speculation.